Hello everybody! Now, Christmas dinner is one of the most important meals of the whole year, but don't forget about Christmas desserts, because they are very important too.
So in today's video, we're going to show you 5 absolutely banging Christmas desserts. They're amazing, they're delicious, and you can totally cook these up for your family and friends. Now, if you're into Christmas things, we've got a whole Christmas course that we put together on boshplus.com. So by all means, go check that out. But without further ado, let's get into the Christmas desserts. And the first recipe is literally my favourite Christmas dessert ever. I used to have this with my sister. It's a Yule Log, chocolatey, perfect.
I mean, you can see why it's one of your favourite ones, because it is just delicious. That cake in the middle, oh.
I wonder what the history of the Yule Log is like. Who came up with it? Why did they think they would bake a chocolate cake into the shape of a log?
I bet what they'd done is made a chocolate cake and decorated it on the top and gone, oh, that looks a bit like bark. I wonder if it would work if I did it in the shape of a log.
Yeah.
Kudos to whoever did that.
Some genius chef. Now, the thing about this is, it's quite a delicate thing to turn into a log. So we're going to use a thin baking tray, as you just saw, to lay out that cake. So we've got a nice thin layer of cake.
Yes, and you need a lot of icing for this, hence all of that dairy-free butter. And that chocolate, look at that, I love the way that it just sort of turns into exactly the colour that you want. It's amazing.
That looked like the weather on Saturn.
Yes, yes it did actually. That's a pretty good way of thinking about that.
So now we're going to stir through some more chocolate because that icing just wasn't nearly chocolatey enough. And are you starting to see why I like this dessert so much?
Yeah, because I mean, it is really naughty. You don't want to eat this every single day, but when you do eat it, you really want to savour every mouthful because it is delightful and delicious.
The clever thing we're doing here, right, is you'll notice we've cut that slightly unevenly. That wasn't an accident, that was on purpose, because it's going to help us to actually create the shape of a log.
It does look like a thing of complete beauty. Lovely, lovely thing.
Absolutely, and patience is key when you're doing this, okay? So do take your time, be careful, measure twice, cut once, as they say.
Measure twice, cut once. That is very good advice. And this is really nice icing advice. Take your time, slowly. Do it in a don't do it in a room that isn't too hot. Like keep a nice temperature in the room that you're icing the cake.
And there we have it. We've got a gorgeous 3-layer Yule Log. We're gonna drag some little stripes across the top to make it look even more loggy, and then cover it with some nice dusting of chocolate.
Oh my gosh, it looks amazing. And now we've got that snow all over the top of it. It's so pretty.
Proper Christmassy, and the holly leaf, I mean, you can just find these, at least in England, you can just find them outside.
And there it is, the innards. Oh my goodness gracious. I love that video, I love that dessert, and you will too.
You love this next one even more.
Oh man, sticky toffee pudding is one of Britain's favourite desserts, and it's easy to see why. I mean, look at that.
I mean, it's gooey, it's oozy, it's hot and warm, you've got that caramel flavour, and you know what, it goes really great with just a touch of ice cream on top to kind of cool down the warmth.
Yeah, and the ice cream that is available now for vegans is so good. You can even get things like Ben & Jerry's.
Talk to me about the dates here.
Now, the dates are really laden with natural sugars, and when you cook them down, they'll give this really nice kind of sticky consistency, which is great for a sticky toffee pudding.
It doesn't seem sensible, but it honestly works so well.
It really does. I mean, like, I don't make this very often, but when we do, it's like, oh, I'm so glad that we did.
Absolutely. This is like the kind of thing you make for your parents at Christmas to impress them. And actually, when we made this on our TV show, Living on the Veg, on ITV1, it was like probably the best dessert of the lot.
I reckon so, and I remember seeing the social media commentary that was coming off the back of the making of that dessert. People were like, thank you for giving us a good quality vegan sticky toffee pudding. And you know what? We were like, our pleasure.
And it proper wowed the director,
yeah,
wowed the team, and also we got to eat it as well, which is always good.
Yes, it is definitely always good, and look at that. So it's really nicely textured. It's not too soft, it's not too runny. It's gonna bake beautifully in the oven. You just know it is.
So you're gonna give that about 40 minutes or so, and that's the perfect time to get on with making your wonderful sauce.
Now, that wonderful sauce is naughty. It's got sugar, it's got fat, it's got sweetness, but oh man, look at that. Come on.
We never said it was healthy, did we?
No, no, no.
You definitely don't want to eat this every day. This is like, you should eat this 20% of the time.
Yes, and
maybe not 20% of the time, like every other day, but you know, occasionally.
And listen, you need a little bit of creaminess to that sauce, and that creaminess you can use soy cream, but we went for oat cream because it is just so abundantly available now in most supermarkets. That looks like space.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like a kind of galaxy forming.
Oh yeah, and here we go. So you've got that really wonderful pud all chopped up there now, or it will be chopped up in a second. And then, here we go. Just, come on, get it out there, eke it out. It's lovely.
Look at that.
Yeah. Do you know what? You can have it in a smaller container and have it even deeper.
A thicker slice, yeah, I would say that's a good idea.
I would say that's a great idea. And also plant-based ice cream is a great idea too.
And that all-important drizzle shot, look at that.
Yes.
That is sexy food right there.
Yeah, it is sexy food. It goes perfectly after a roast dinner. It's very, very good for this time of year. I think this jumper, or these jumpers that we're wearing right now, was designed to eat something along these lines.
Absolutely, and I love how soft it is inside. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's going to be soft, it's going to be unctuous. You've got that kind of rich caramel flavour. Oh, what a delicious dessert.
That was a goodie. And this is a goodie too. It's the giant Christmas mince pie, and oh my dizzy days, this is one of the best Christmas desserts we've ever done, hands down.
And of course, we're making a mince pie, so the first thing we're going to make is the filling. That mince is going to go inside. We've got some sugar, we've got some cider, and more of that apple flavour in the form of cooking apples or regular apples. Some gorgeous stem ginger is going to add to that flavour, some currants, some raisins, almonds, pecans, all of those flavours you would associate, just flavour upon flavour, and then some gorgeous spices to make that perfect Christmassy filling.
Look, we said it was one of the best things that we've ever done for Christmas, and you know what? We weren't lying. Look at all those ingredients in there. There's so many unctuous, wonderful, luxury ingredients, but you know what? It's Christmas, so you might as well make something that is truly amazing.
And what's nice about that mince is you can imagine it coming from like the days of old, when it would be Christmas and there wasn't much fresh veg around. There wasn't much growing in like January and February, so they just had stuff that they'd, dried, or it was already dry and it lasted.
Yeah, I mean, like, because you'd pickle things, you'd jerk things,
you dry them, you dehydrate them, like the prunes, like the raisins. You've got the lemon stuff left over.
Exactly.
All of that stuff, you just simmer that with some of the booze you had hanging over, and that would be probably enough to keep you going for a day.
And if we're talking about things of old, you would be definitely making your own pastry, which is exactly what we're doing right here. This is a short crust pastry, and it's laced with clementine or orange zest. So it's like super duper flavorful all on its own. You could just make biscuits out of that.
Totally, totally. What you do want to do though, if you're making this recipe, is to just make sure you press it really carefully into the edges. You want a really good seal all the way around.
Oh my God, that's so good.
I mean, that is already a fantastic thing. And I like the fact we made this one giant because it's like a showstopper for your family. You can put this in the middle of your table and everyone will be impressed. But these stars are going to impress them even more.
And that demerara sugar will caramelise a little bit in the oven, and they'll just leave a really nice golden crispy sweet crust. And oh yes, here we go.
There it is, a beautiful giant mince pie. Cut a slice of that, serve it with some kind of gorgeous brandy cream, brandy butter, a touch of icing sugar to replicate the snow, and that is the ultimate Christmassy dessert. We do hope you have enjoyed this video so far. Let us know what you're thinking down in the comments below. What are your favourite desserts? We would love to hear from you. But without further ado, let's get on to the next recipe.
A mini
Banoffee
meringue. Oh my goodness.
That's right, Banoffee, the classic flavour of banana with toffee caramel. Delicious, with a completely plant-based meringue.
Now, aquafaba, if you don't know what it is the water from a tin of chickpeas, and it can do magical things, especially when you get some cream of tartar inside it.
That's right, that cream of tartar is going to help it come together and firm up into a proper, legit meringue. No eggs needed here. Whoever discovered aquafaba was a genius.
Yeah, an absolute genius. But listen guys, don't underestimate the power of a large stand mixer. You definitely need one of those if you're going to make nice fluffy meringues. Don't use a hand blender, they don't work.
Yeah, you just won't get a fast enough stir.
No, just absolutely won't. And also, don't make ones that are absolutely massive as well. The littler, the better, because they cook easier in the oven.
Absolutely. But if you follow those instructions and you follow the recipe exactly, this should turn out really, really well for you. And it's honestly such a crowd pleaser.
Now, look at this. We've made a really nice banana cream here, and that icing sugar is going to give it a really good sort of sweetness. And then we've got a little bit of cream from the tin of coconut milk as well, and it's going to be good.
think of all those flavours going in there, so much deliciousness. That is going to get put on top of our lovely little meringues.
Ooh, what are we doing here? I think, do you know what we're doing here? We're making some vegan caramel.
That's how we roll.
Yes. So easy when you know how.
I know, touch of sugar, touch of plant-based milk, and you're in a good place.
Yeah, you really are. Look at that, perfect consistency. Why is it perfect? Because you can drizzle that, and that's what we're going to do. But you need a little bit of dairy-free butter in there because it gives it that nice unctuousness.
Stir that all together, let it simmer. You don't want to cook it too much, just stir it and bring it together. And now that is exactly what we're looking for to drizzle all over our wonderful meringues.
It'd be very easy to turn that into toffee, but we're not looking at toffee, we're looking at drizzly caramel sauce. Now, this is the bit where you get creative. You can use the sliced bananas, you can use the cashew cream as we are doing here, a little bit of chocolate, oh, come on.
What's nice about those bananas is they're going to perform a layer. They're going to create a layer to separate that cream from that meringue, keep it nice and dry.
Oh my gosh, this is such a party piece. I think anyone who eats this round at your dinner party is going to be like, come on, well done, this is a great dessert.
Gooey, unctuous, delicious. There you have it, our delicious Banoffee meringues.
And the last video in this wonderful selection is our homemade Nutella Biscoff Christmas tree Terra Sharer.
Oh, what a recipe. Clearly one of our favourites.
Yeah.
One that we love to feature left, right and centre on Bosch. And this is such a good thing for you to create for your guests, if you have any guests this Christmas.
Now I wonder if you could use a different nut if you didn't like hazelnuts. What do you reckon?
Ooh, yeah, I think you could probably, well, cashews will definitely blend down to nothing.
That's true, and pecans are nice and soft and they're so Christmassy.
Absolutely, but we like to make it in the traditional way with those hazelnuts because they just taste so delicious.
Yeah, we've got nice hazelnuts, we've got nice nut milk, we've got nice chocolate, nice maple syrup, whizzed up in a nice blender to form the nicest chocolate spread you've ever seen.
Nice is the word of the day, evidently. You'll notice that we have kept our chocolate spread just a little bit chunky because we like that bit of texture in there, but you can of course blitz it to more smooth if you prefer.
Now, vegan puff pastry that comes in rolled sheets, very easy to find here in the UK. Hopefully it is where you are too. Make sure it's vegan because there are some all butter ones out there. And also, when you're making it, make sure you make it in a reasonably cool room because it'll be difficult to twist later.
And we're going to get onto that, but first off, we're going to take this Biscoff and spread it out. The combination of Biscoff and chocolate is so naughty. Biscoff's got that wonderful, that kind of cinnamony, almondy flavour, that burnt caramel flavour, together with that dark, sweet, rich chocolate. It's a perfect flavour profile. 2 sheets of puff pastry sandwiched together with that wonderful sweet filling. We've cut off the sides here to make a Christmas tree, because that's what we're going to try and do. And this is the bit that you need to be quite careful with, and just make sure that you've got your artistic hat on to make sure that you get it just so. Yeah, you could, as Ian says, pop this in the fridge for a bit before you get to your twist, because this twist now is going to require a steady hand and quite cool, firm pastry. Every single one of those little twists just turns really crunchy. You break it off and then you can dip it in like your coffee. You can sort of dip it over some, imagine that like if you had a bowl of ice cream and it melted down a bit and you just scooped it up like that. Oh, come on. I want to eat this right now. That is a really good looking thing. Although I noticed the Christmas tree is upside down. Yeah, I don't know why we did that, but you know what? It's okay. Because I suppose, you imagine it, there'll be loads of people around the table, so half the people would see it in the right spot. It's facing towards like the guests. Yeah, exactly. So whoever's at the head of the table gets the nice view. And look, it's snowing again here in Bosch HQ. Oh yes. Icing sugar will make it snow! Oh, look at how good that looks. Golden, crunchy, Christmas tree terra sharer. This is a wonderful recipe. Anyone would think it was a cause to celebrate. Anyone would think it was Christmas. And you know what? It is. It is Christmas, and this is why Henry and I are wearing our Christmas jumpers and why we're presenting this wonderful video to you and hopefully filling your head full of opportunity and potential. Yeah, because it's been a bit of a mad year and there's no better time to just celebrate at the end of the year than the festive period, whether or not you celebrate Christmas. So we're going to be celebrating with desserts just like this. I hope you're going to love them too. Now let us know what you thought about this video in the comment section below. And as we said at the beginning, we've got something very exciting popping off over on Bosch Plus. Yeah, there's a Christmas course with loads of incredible recipes, loads of exclusive ones. Basically us taking you all the way through our favourite Christmas. So by all means, go check out Bosch Plus if you're feeling that way inclined. But if not, we hope you enjoyed the video. Let us know your thoughts down below and we'll see you on the next one. Merry Christmas, one and all. Woohoo!